Cracking ice, rushing water, howling winds, and the shimmer of a mythical encounter. Welcome to the painting process and the frozen tale of the unicorn and the narwhal. This chapter is part of a larger story on this channel, but each video can also be watched on its own. I have all my supplies ready. Clean water, salt and two of my favorite blues, cobalt and ultramarine. I begin by soaking the entire sheet of paper. Everything needs to stay wet, fluid like the sea. I leave a section blank, just water, marking where the icy horizon separates sea from sky. Then, swiftly, I sprinkle the salt. Now comes the hardest part, waiting for the water to dry. The unicorn stepped carefully across the final splinters of land-bound ice. She looked at the endless sea. The dark water shimmered with mystery. Floating shards of ice tried to mask the moon's reflection. Then she saw it, breaking the surface, a tusk, spiraled, familiar. Memories stirred, long-forgotten clashes of horn against horn, a gentle caress down another's withers, the pointing of horns towards the very same moon. She shook her head, dazed by the wave of remembrance. How long ago had that been? Years? Decades? Eons? Time itself had blurred. Instinctively she pointed her horn towards the water. A shadow erupted, a narwhal, majestic and massive, breaching the surface. The long tusk and white horn collided briefly, a single spark of old magic. Then stillness. One creature on brittle land, one submerged in cold water. I gently touch the paper. It's still cool to the touch, like the icy sea itself. Not dry yet, a little more patience is needed. The two creatures hesitated. The unicorn studied the narwhal's long tusk, an echo of her own, yet different. She whinnied, a soft, mournful sound. The narwhal's eyes softened. You've come with a question. The unicorn lifted her head with quiet pride, then shook it firmly. "Ha! You look down on us," said the narwhal. "You think I cannot answer. But what you see disturbs you, not because of me, but because it mirrors something within yourself." After many hours, the salt has dried, and so has the paper. I gently rub it with brushes or fingers, feeling the gritty texture beneath my fingertips. Some crystals stay behind, catching the light like frost. This painting won't last forever, unlike the unicorn. The salt on watercolor is not very archival, but fun to experiment with. I start painting the unicorn now, impatient, poised above the narwhal. The unicorn scraped the ice with a hoof, dislodging a chunk into the sea. The narwhal smiled. "We live brief lives," the creature said, "but our stories live on. My great-grandfather's tusk ended the war against the ice bears. My mother crossed an entire ocean to find my father. We are short-lived compared to you, but we can become legends." The unicorn scowled. Bones and tusks scattered on the seabed, all fleeting, forgotten. You forget much, don't you? I've lived more time than I can spend. Why bother remembering? I imagine the narwhal gazing upwards, exposing his vulnerable belly, not as a weakness, but as trust. Even while painting from imagination, I think about composition, balance, connection, emotion. And, of course, the story. The narwhal sank slowly. The ice cracked ominously nearby. The unicorn started to shift her weight, calculating safety, but drawn ever so close to the edge. The tusk reappeared, but the narwhal only dove again, his curved back slicing through the water, exhaling with the spray from his blowhole. Dismissal, laughter, a challenge. The waves struck the ice with force. The unicorn felt them from below, trembling through the frozen sheet. She stood on fragile ground. I paint the narwhal darker, submerged in the depths, a contrast to the pale unicorn above. They mirror each other, one of the sea, one of land, one mortal, one immortal, like yin and yang. Their horns reflect that too, the narwhal's dark, sharp and long tusk, the unicorn's powerful yet delicate horn. "Wait!" the unicorn called, despite herself. The water stilled, the bubbles settled. She bowed her head, touching the icy sea with her horn. A bite of cold ran through her, sharp and deep. She held firm. "Please," she whispered. I imagined the wind tugging at the unicorn's mane, fierce and wild. I detailed the patterns on the narwhal's back to echo the rhythm of ocean waves. She focused only on staying still, resisting the frostbite threatening her horn. Then she felt it, a pulse rising from the deep. The narwhal surfaced, laughing. "I am honored." "Yet you laugh." "Go on, ask your question. But what will you offer in return?" The unicorn hesitated. She never needed anything until now. She tossed her mane. A seed, shimmering from the ancient forest, fell into view. The narwhal gasped. Is that what I believe it is?" "Ah, now you ask questions." The narwhal laughed again. "It's in my nature. You and I, we are like dragons, close yet worlds apart. I will never know your forest, neither will you discover the kelp gardens, the ice caverns, or the end of the sky. But this glimpse makes my heart leap with joy." I grab my white Posca marker and start adding moonlight to the unicorn's figure and the sense of glistening water around the narwhal. The reflections will bring the scene to life. "Ask. I will try to answer." The unicorn faltered. Asking felt like failure, but she couldn't solve this puzzle on her own. "Are there any other unicorns beyond the shallow sea?" "Ah, the shallow sea. I cannot cross that dangerous territory. How can this be a question for me? I imagine only dragons or selkies dare to cross the entire shallow sea. Why don't you ask a dragon?" The unicorn flinched. Dragons, her ancient foes, especially that one, the only one that once wounded her. Of all the memories lost, this she remembers. The pain, the limping, the crippling fatigue and hiding in caves. She hid so deep into the darkest of earth. Lonely, alone for so long, while all the other unicorns roamed the land. And when she felt strong enough to reappear, the shallow sea was there, but no unicorn was left. "You had all the time in the world to learn the dragon's tongue," the narwhal said gently. "Stop asking questions." She backed away. Selkies flashed in her memory, shapeshifters of sea and land. But the narwhal shook his head as if he read her mind. Selkies forget. When they wear their skins, they lose the land. When they walk on shore, they forget the sea. That is their curse. The unicorn's heart grew heavy. Had the others vanished while she hid? Or long before? She couldn't remember. Only the dragon remained in her memory, relentless, circling, following her. "You must ask the dragon," said the narwhal, the last of them. "No, and—" She looked up. "That can't be, no." "I draw 2 moons, one in the sky, one larger reflection in the sea. I smudge the marker on the water slightly to make it less bright." Once the sky had brimmed with winged shadows. Now she only saw the moon. The narwhal bowed deeply. "I am honored to have met you. I am sorry that I cannot answer your question." He prepared to die. "Wait! Take the seed." He paused, surprised, but I didn't answer. The unicorn shook her mane again. Not 1, but 2 glowing seeds drifted into the sea. The narwhal bowed once more. "I shall plant them in the most fertile seabed and grow a forest beneath the waves. A gift beyond value. I owe you." She said nothing, only dipped her horn in farewell. His laugh rang out, deep and joyful. Their horns touched once more, and then she galloped away, a silver-white streak across the icy land. The narwhal watched until she vanished, then cradled the seeds in his mouth, the start of his own legend. I hope you enjoyed this magical meeting and the process of painting it. If you want more, subscribe for future chapters. Or better yet, pick up your brush, your pen, your gardening gloves or guitar. Create your own legend.